Hey love, welcome back, or if it's your first time here, my name is Fea. Welcome to my little corner in this world. I talk about self-love, self-growth, and self-appreciation. And in the podcast for today, we will talk about a topic that I'm sure every one of us have felt at some point, which is loneliness. Have you ever feel alone even when you're surrounded by people? It can be from a party, in a classroom, or even just with friends. It feels like no one really see you. That type of loneliness ache the most. It's not even about just being alone. It's about feeling disconnected, feeling invisible. No one really see you there. And honestly, I think so many of us have felt that at least one in their lifetimes. Just so you know, you're not alone in this. We're all in this together, and there will always be the opportunity to grow. For me, the type of loneliness tend to hit late at night. It's always the moment where I found myself scrolling endlessly on the social media and just seeing other people going out with friends, couple on cute days, people going on vacations. Sometimes it triggered this question in my head: why them? Why not me? Maybe you feel that too, that little pinch in your chest, where the thought of I felt left out. But here's the truth. The silence that you often feel after scrolling, that's not emptiness. It's just a signal to your body that you are craving for real connection. And science have proved that loneliness activates the same region in your brains, the same things as physical pain. That's why sometimes it doesn't just hurt emotionally, but physically too. It's like eating sugar whenever your body actually needs real food. Is giving you this rush, this temporary dopamine boost, where it's never enough to fill you. That's where I started to noticing my own pattern. It's always happened at night where I find myself scrolling endlessly or drinking to myself where I almost wanted to disappear. In the book The Law of Human Nature, written by Greene, and it's that book, it talk about humans is a pattern-seeking creature. And somewhere along the line that says most of us live out cycle we don't even see. And recognizes is the first step of breaking free. So ask yourself, what is your pattern when you often feel lonely? Or simply adjust, what did you recognize you was doing whenever you do feel lonely? And everyone can be different. Do you overwork? Do you go numb? Or do you distract yourself with different kind of noise? Or are you the pretend type, where you pretend that you are fine when you're actually not? And don't lie, I know we all go through that. That's why we're watching this video together. And recognizing this is the first step. And when you be able to recognize your patterns, starting to come up with a plan, something that going to help you escape or redirect your thought and your feeling. For me, it's to journaling. It's not those type of cute aesthetic journal that you often hear or heard. It's the raw type, where I write down my real unfiltered emotion within that moment. It can be, I feel jealous, I'm lost, I don't know what I wanted in life, I feel small. And yes, it can be quite difficult in the beginning, but I'm proud of myself to be able to take that step and just facing myself in the mirror and be able to recognize those feelings and write them down. And guess what? After all, I felt relief. My chest tend to get a lot lighter. And I would honor to myself, so congrats to me. Attachment research actually supports this, where naming your feeling can reduce intensity. And neuroscience often call it affect labeling, where your brain started to calm down when feeling are given languages. You can call it out, name it, or write it down. So the next time whenever you feel lonely, just grab out a book and a pen and starting to write out 3 emotions that you feel at the time. Don't filter it, just be raw and be honest to yourself, because this is going to be your safe space. And when you finish it, that's the first step to ground yourself. As a Gen Z and living in such fast-paced generations, I noticed that my life have often always been caught up with so many things and so many distractions. Just over a period of time, I have learned another lessons of mine that never confuse attention with connections. And this is where all the big social media platforms come into place, where it's starting to giving you the dopamine boost whenever your posts start to get a little more like, you start to gain more follower. And just a reminder, like or not love, and following doesn't mean friends. Psychology calls this illusions intimacy, where we confuse visibility with closeness. Now let's break it down a little bit more simpler. Visibility is something that feeds your ego and giving it that temporary boost of dopamine, where closeness is something that going to fill your heart. So instead of chasing for attention, start seeking for real connections. This can look like sending a thoughtful message to a best friend of yours that you haven't talked in a while, or giving someone a call instead of just a reaction out of their Instagram story. Or it can be simply as just sit down with yourself and be present in that moment. Because here the key in the book Attached, written by Amir, Levine. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm learning English by reading, so I don't know if I say his name right. But anyway, the book Attached reminds us that humans are wired with real connections, where our nervous system actually regulates better when we feel secure connected with one another. And here is another truth. Most of the pain that we feel doesn't always come from reality, but it's come from the story that we constantly tell ourselves, where the thought often comes like, they are happier than me, I feel left out, I'm not enough. But those are illusions. In the book The 48 Laws of Power, written by Robert Greene, talk about how perspective shape our reality. Half of our suffering comes from the story that we tell ourselves, but not from the actual fact. So when your mind starts to spinning, just take a pause and ask, is it the reality or is it the story that you constantly tell yourself and make yourself believe in this illusion that's not real? It's the same thing with the monologue conversation that you have within yourself while you conversate with another person. And without speaking it out loud, you make yourself into belief in the perspectives of how you feel about them and how they view you without actually talking about it. It's constantly giving you into this loop of confusions and these illusions that fake it into the reality of yours. Me and my best friend V, we often joke about how reality is not real. It's like we playing a video game. Each individual of us is the person who behind the computer, and we just play out our character, you know. And I think that's very true. The more I learn, the more I read about psychology and about all of these things, it started to make a lot more sense. So don't be too harsh on yourself with those thoughts. Every time that feeling come up again, just take a pause and ask yourself, redirect your thought and your emotions. And that's where the growth started to happen. First step, you started to notice your pattern. Second, you started to ground yourself. Third, you're shifting from attention to real connection. And fourth, you started to questioning all of the illusion that you had in your mind. Because loneliness isn't about punishment. It's an invitation that your soul been whispering to your ear that you are ready for something deeper and real. And once you see it that way, you stop running away from it. You started to learn from it. You build a real power, the soft type. The kind that rooted in self-aware and not performance. So if you ever feel lonely lately, just know that you're not in this alone. We're in this together. Even myself, I sometimes often feel that way too. But I have learned to redirect my thought and my feeling to much more positive way. Because realities is not real. Yes, loneliness is universal, but it is also transformable. So maybe it can be the very things that lead you back to yourself. Thank you so much for listening until this moment. My name is Fea. Very nice to meet you guys. Just a quick reminder to be gentle and honest with yourself today. Bye, love.